And our first main topic today is this. Shane, where is my goddamn jet? Where is my jet? So
hey, I didn't promise you anything.
So Shane came over to the house the other day, and he wasn't the only one. My buddy Ivan was over, a couple other people, and seen that I was watching it or had mentioned something about it to me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to check this out. So everyone was telling me, oh, you should. It's fun and da-da-da. So I checked it out. My overall thoughts on the movie are, give that dude his damn jet, Pepsi. Fuck you guys, man. And then, obviously Coke's better than Pepsi, besides the fact that they're both just, caramel shit water. So
not going to be able to monetize this topic.
But anyways, it was fun. Like I was telling Shane a little while ago, it was a little over the top and overdone. It felt like it dragged on, and they were just like filling and giving you a lot of filler stuff that you really just didn't care about, like the dude and the mountain and the relationship. Like, it was interesting, but you didn't have to give us so much of it, right? Like, it just became too much, and it became like the story was about like, oh man, you know what? Screw the jet. I got this friendship out of the deal. And it's like, what? I would have took the jet over friendship with that dude any day, but whatever, man. I mean, that's what happens when you lose out on a jet. But overall, I had fun with it. I mean, I really did. I watched it all back to back. It was a couple hours. Like I was telling Shane, it probably should have been a hour and 20-minute documentary, maybe hour 30, 45 minutes. But it did drag on, and it was just, it delved into a lot of stuff that you really just didn't care about. But overall, the main story of it was really interesting. As a kid growing up in the 90s, I remember that commercial, and I remember how cool it was. And I was trying to remember as a kid, did I think I could win the jet? And because I remember seeing the commercial going, whoa, but I guess in my mind, I thought, well, it's a commercial, so it's just kind of for fun. So I never even thought about it. I was also like 5, or 6 or something when I seen that commercial. So by the time I seen it, they had probably had it edited 4 or 5 times. but Shane, you're the one that first asked me about it, so I know you've checked it out. What are your thoughts on it, man?
I wish I didn't bring it up because I don't recommend it. Don't bother watching it. It could have been good. It was something that drew me in, and it was a cool concept that I remember faintly, but I don't remember the payoff. But for that payoff of what it was, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it certainly didn't need to be 4 episodes long. And we got these weird tangents to fill time. And, I know they're trying to bring in depth to these characters about their whole quest to Antarctica and mountaineering down there, and how, their lives are fulfilled.
He's beating cancer.
But nobody cares about that. We're there to find out, did you win the jet or not? And 4 episodes, when we put it on, we actually, the new Dead to Me series came out, which was also disappointed. Thankfully, it's the last one. But we would throw this on each night super late when we were like, okay, let's throw on something short before bed. And I swear I was falling asleep before every episode, the end of every episode, because it was just, they'd go down these tangents again. There was, like you said, there's just too much filler. It's not worth your time. Just read it on Wikipedia, what happens, and it's definitely you'll get as much information. I remember a couple times my wife waking up, like, did I miss something?
Right. Anything good happen? Nah, we're good.
No, you didn't. There was some really cool tidbits. Again, I thought that the subject matter warrants a documentary. Just definitely not this one. It was too stylized.
Yeah, for sure. They wanted it to be a motion picture so bad, like a movie. Like it had.
Well,
those
they even
movie
recast
moments.
so they could reenact.
Right,
scenes.
That was so silly to me. Like, like I seen that they were going for humor and stuff, so I thought it was. There was moments where I kind of chuckled at some of it, but it was just like, are you serious? Mm-hmm. Like there was the scene where the mobster dude has the 2 grenade canisters and all the cops are shooting at him and he jumped. It's like, come on.
And I know that was supposed to be over the top.
Yeah, it was.
It was obviously a lie. So what Keith's talking about was to prove that you could own a Harrier. Some guy in Tulsa, Oklahoma claimed that he owned a Harrier briefly. Mm-hmm. And he had proof. So they go to check it out. And it turns out he's a super big liar. Tulsa kid, right? Right. And so it's like we got 20 minutes of this nothing of this lead that goes nowhere that you could have just had in the interview in 20 seconds going, yeah, there was some crazy guy trying to claim that he owned a Harrier. Well, that turned out not to be true. But instead, we get this whole reenacted scene where he's firing missiles from his Harrier at the cops, and it's just like, oh my gosh, we do not need this. What we do need were just facts about the case, because that's what was enjoyable.
Yeah, so like to me, the first episode was the strongest because it mainly gave you facts and it hooked you in like a mother, right? Like you wanted to watch so bad. But then everything until probably the last 20 minutes of the last episode is just filler shit.
Yep.
So if you really, really do want to at least know the situation, I would say watch the first episode all the way through and then watch maybe like the last half of the last episode.
I would recommend the whole 4th episode, because one of the things I found most interesting was when they talked about the Philippines. And they had that promotion.
Yes, is that the 4th episode?
That was
then
the
watch
start
the
of the
whole
fourth,
thing.
yeah.
Then you're right. Totally right. Then watch the whole 4th episode, because in fact, that was the only real compelling stuff in there.
It drew me back in.
Yeah, and it kind of, honestly, it irked me. It pissed me off because that was the documentary, man, right? That was the documentary. Those people were affected. This isn't some rich white kid who's sitting behind a plane he owns anyway and goes to Antarctica every week to climb mountains and shit. These are people who were seriously affected, like, and their families were hurt, and people were rioting and trampled and killed. And
what's funny is, once again, they're being exploited for their story to help sympathize with this white kid who wants a jet.
Right, this white kid.
They just wanted their poverty to end.
For nothing.
Yeah.
For doing nothing.
They just wanted their poverty to end.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know,
well, not even that. They just wanted like some months of not having to starve. Shit, right? I mean, because we found out 1 million pesos for them at the time was like 30 or 40 grand, which is still a lot of money for them.
In the 90s, that was a decent yearly salary in America.
Go, right. So
in the Philippines, that's 5 years of pretty comfortable living, I would guess.
And so it wasn't even like what $1 million would be for us, you know, and they still didn't get it. And to think, you know, I don't know. I mean, I went to college and did a lot of criminal justice, and when I went to Northeast Magnet and did pre-law there, and I don't know how law works in other places, but I know this: if that would have happened here, there would have been what we know as a class action lawsuit, and at the end of the day, we all wouldn't have got our $1 million. That's for sure, but we'd have got something. And I think they ended up getting like 2 packs of. Like what it was like the equivalent 20 pesos or whatever, which was the equivalent to like 2 packs of Pepsi. It's like, jeez, and you
they
can
did it wrong.
It's funny. The whole series is just this comedy bullshit with these white people that are overly privileged, and then everything with those Filipino people are all tears in their eyes. It's all in these like places where it's like, is that a house? What are they living in right there? They're all in that one room together.
But let's get back to the jet. I really want to know about that jet.
Right. And so, like I said, it kind of irked me because, and like you said, it drew me back in. But then I realized at some point that this is what we really want. What I really want is to see, you know, this true story of how it actually affected people.
You know, there were 4 episodes somewhere in this documentary, but maybe one episode should have been all the times Pepsi effed up. So you have the Where's My Jet? That's episode 1. You got Philippines. That's episode 2. And then I'm sure there's 2 other times in history that Pepsi effed up and screwed over people through marketing.
Right.
So, you know, I think that extending this, and you could obviously see that, we don't have 4. Let's put in this the Filipinos' angst and anguish with Pepsi. You know, honestly, I was kind of bored out of my mind with episode 3, and they set up the whole thing in the Philippines at the end of episode 3, and that kind of got me to sit up.
Right.
It's like, what's this? And I went right into episode 4. So obviously they didn't have enough.
No, for sure. And it's sad that that the kid was so worried about getting the jet that none of the other shit really even mattered to him. Even the $1 million offer he got.
He could have got $2 million bucks.
Right. Didn't matter at all because And I do just want to point out, I was telling Shane, and I still think if it's me, I've seen a lot of myself in that kid, because he did have some ambition. You know, it comes from nothing. You're just a dude that's trying to capitalize on the fucked up system of America. But at the end of the day, like, I see myself kind of in it, and I thought, like I was telling you, I would have called Coke as soon as everyone was interviewing me and stuff. I'd have called Coke and be like, hey, let me be your guys'. Can you hear me now? Let me be that. Let me be Jared from Subway for you guys. People would love that. I mean, I'm in the news. Everyone's on my side. Let's do a commercial where you guys bought me a jet and I'm like flying off in it.
Or at least, maybe they get them, a single engine. Point.
Right. Whatever.
Did Pepsi even try that? Hey, we can't get you this Harrier jet, but do you want a plane?
Right, for sure. Or a helicopter.
I mean, those
something.
are way less than $2 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it was 30. It was like $35 million.
I'm talking about what they were offering to pay off.
Sure.
I mean, you could buy
a one-person plane for $20,000, $30,000, right? Yeah, for sure.
He would have been all about that.
For sure. Yeah, he just wasn't trying to have that John Denver life, man. But yeah, and you don't blame him, because with a Harrier jet, like they said, just your average Joe could get inside one of those bad boys and probably take off in it because of the way it's designed. So, but yeah, guys, have you had a chance to check out this Pepsi documentary? If so, what'd you think? Like I said, wasn't the biggest fan. Started out strong. It really hooked me in, at least. Even just a little teaser trailer thing really gets you like, what? And also, I grew up in the 90s. Like I was telling Shane, the Pepsi and the Cola Wars was like a thing when I was a kid. And it was just a weird time, and it felt nostalgic just seeing all that and seeing those commercials, and I loved it. I loved that stuff about it. But overall, not the biggest fan. But let us know what you guys think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you see it? Are you going to see it? Definitely let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below.